Augmented reality. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the term augmented reality. And the point here really is to change your viewpoint and change your perspective on how things can be done. And I'm going to, in a moment, ask for help from my colleague Ron over here to demonstrate this for you. But conventionally, we would see, I think even today, the process of getting from planning to production, a disconnected process. People working and throwing information over the wall, as cliche as that is, I think is still largely the case. And what happens is that we get out of sync, not everybody sees what's really going on, and that increases the opportunity for failure and for risk when we go to production. And those errors can end up in the instructions that get provided to folks who are doing assembly for us. And the interesting thing here is that the Eclipse aircraft is going to receive a new supplemental vision system, an infrared camera that's going to help the pilot, give them situational awareness when they're landing in low light conditions or bad weather, low visibility, avoid animals on the runway, these kinds of things. And that system needs to be installed on aircraft that are already operating today. So this is a retrofit type of situation. I'm going to do it in the field. I may also be doing it on production aircraft where I need to set up the installation of this in an actual factory where I have planes that are waiting to be worked on. And we have this idea that we can take advantage of technology like augmented reality to simplify the process of adding that item to the aircraft and making it easier for the operator to do that job, whether they're in the field or whether they are in the factory. So we're now going to switch to a live demonstration where we're actually going to use this nose because that would be a shame if we didn't. And what we have is that Iran is now reviewing the electronic work instructions that were provided to him to visualize what the task is, how to install, in this case, the bracket, the longeron, I believe is what it's called, that holds this system. The original one needs to be removed and this needs to be installed. So he's able to review the instructions, he's able to manipulate the 3D. He can also use now that electronic work instruction to guide him with an augmented reality view. So now he's seeing the virtual part overlaid onto the real nose. So he knows exactly where it's supposed to go. And this is interesting and important because this gets installed from the inside. So this is like an X-ray view for him, seeing from the inside where the part needs to go. He now takes the part and he's actually scanning the part. That part has an identification on it. Do I have the right part? Is it associated to this aircraft? Yes. He gets the green check mark. You have the right part. And now he can go to the installation process. So he's now going to utilize the augmented reality system to help him position the part. He installs the part, and then he asks the system to validate for him if the installation was done correctly. And in this case, you didn't do it so right, okay, something's wrong, okay. So the system understands where this part's supposed to go, how it's supposed to get assembled. He now repositions the part, and then he'll ask again for validation. The system will check, did the part get installed in the right place? And hopefully, if he did it right, yes, in fact, he did. And so we have the ability to guide the operation to ensure that we've got the right parts, that we've installed them correctly, and that it's passed the installation test, if you will, if I can say it that way, to make sure that we did it correctly. And that could potentially lead to conformity that we need to have, and ultimately, not certifying necessarily, but making sure that from an internal point of view, that particular thing was installed correctly and that the job got done. So Ron, thank you very much for your help.
Perhaps I can just interrupt you here for a second, Mike, and ask Alan. From a certification perspective, how is augmented reality applied, or is it allowed by the FAA and the record keeping and those kinds of things that go along with that, and working through the engineering work instructions according to augmented reality? What do you see there?
So it's already used in aircraft production from an FAA point of view in terms of how you use lasers for placements, particularly in composites, things like that. But clearly what your demonstration does is touch upon all of the things that are necessary, which was first, how do you design the part, how do you certify certify the part. Then how do you install it? Again, looking towards this concept of conformity. How do you document that the work instructions were followed, that the part was installed in the right part was installed in the right place on the right airplane, because some customers won't want this feature. So yes, all of this leads towards that integration and simplification, which should in the long run improve aviation.
Okay. So again, the point here, augment your reality, change your perception and your point of view to how things can get done, and take advantage of technology to help you produce those innovative products, install them correctly, deliver them when and where they're needed, and most importantly, make sure that the job is done correctly the first time, without error, and that it's immediately validated once it's done. And with that, Jim, I believe I'll be turning it back over to you.
Yeah, good, very good. Mike, team, thank you so much. Excellent.